Hopefully the stripper worked really well and it just comes easy. Like driving like, oh, there's a mast. Wait, that's probably our mast. Today is a bright and sunny day and it is painting day. We are Brett and Jade Evans. We decided to go for our dreams and purchased this wrecked sailboat. We're working hard to restore it and to document the journey with new episodes every week. Subscribe and join us on our greatest expedition yet. For starters, today I need to sand off the patches that have been revealed by moving the old stands. Unfortunately, PPE is still hard to come by, so I don't have a painter suit to wear. I'm going to put on my one long sleeve shirt that I own, which is in this lazarette. Yay! I never sleep very well the first night that Brick was away for a trip, so I'm just gonna get to work. I think I'll put on like an upbeat soundtrack to infuse this video with the energy that I'm lacking. This is me dancing to the upbeat music that I haven't picked out yet that I'll put in this video. Do you guys feel it? Feel that energy? I hope so. It's gotta be there somewhere.
And find the way back to our home, our home, our home. We don't have to drift inside this dome. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too...
It was just not working. It just was not sanding off. I needed maybe a 40 grit sandpaper rather than a 60 or an 80, but there's no 40 grit available at any of the hardware stores because we're having shortages of sandpaper right now for some reason. So really the only option at this point is to just press forward with more stripper. I put it on thick. I put the plastic up so that it can hopefully really get in there before it dries up with the heat. And then I tape the plastic and I leave it to sit overnight, waiting for me to come and scrape it all off. Which brings us to today. Today is the final day of prepping the boat. The light at the end of the tunnel of the bottom job, it's so close. It's like right here before me and I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna knock it out and I am thrilled about that. I am also thrilled. Look what I found. Ooh, I just put dust everywhere. Home Depot finally had them in stock, so I will not have to be covered in bottom paint again today, which is very nice. It is a 2XL. You guys. We will see how this goes. I'm just grateful to have found it. So I'm not even gonna complain. We'll make it work.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this.
So far so good. I'm nearly done sanding the keel. My sandpaper flew off because it says it needs to be replaced. I've downloaded my new audiobook and I'm ready to go start scraping. Hopefully the stripper worked really well and it just comes easy.
Make a move cause the store won't stay open till the end. Won't you tear my world apart?
The fact that I'm this close to having the entire bottom done and it's being so stubborn. I need to figure out a better method. The stripper did work fairly well. It just didn't get it all. I didn't have it quite as thick as maybe I should have last night because I didn't have very much. I was just using what was left over. So I'm gonna run to the hardware store and get a new bucket, and then we're going to apply it, plastic it, and tape it. I don't think I've ever had a bane of my existence before. I now do, and I just can't get it. Maybe just take a minute to sympathize by the fact that I have so many square feet and that's just this like little patch that won't come. It just seems ironic.
When you feel you don't belong, so tell me, are you still in there? As beautiful as you
So happy. I feel triumphant. I feel a lot closer to being able to actually paint the bottom. I'm hoping it might actually happen tomorrow. The stubborn patch is gone. I have a couple other spots that still need to be sanded. I need to fair the keel one more time, fix a chipped area on the rudder. Once that's all done, that's the end of the prep work. Then it's just, well, that is a loud bird. Then it's cleaning and taping time, but first, more sanding. Today is the final day for prep work, and I really need to hurry because if I don't paint tomorrow, I'm going to probably wait a week because of rain. I've got the keel here that just like on this edge needs to be sanded, and also kind of this area needs to be cleaned up. And then I've got a few areas like right there by the prop, and then kind of in the creases and cracks. So I just got here, got out of my car. I haven't gone onto the boat yet. I'm suited, and I'm just gonna knock it out really quick.
With you I feel like breaking rules on the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about us two, playing around without a clue on the edge, cleaning out. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just leave. With us it's all or nothing. But guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just leave.
We have a cast iron keel. If you think about like a cast iron pan, it has texture, it has pits that I'm coming into the keel and I'm filling all of that. And we already did it one time, but I'm going back through again and I'm getting it more filled, more faired, getting it all smooth. Hi guys! Are you guys splashing today?
Tomorrow, they said.
Tomorrow? How many times have you told me tomorrow? I resanded it, I refaired it, I resanded the fairing, and now I just covered it in epoxy to keep any of the exposed metal from rusting. I'm trying to get it as perfect as possible. I need to wait until I'm gonna have a full day of just sun. The weather kind of shifted and my weather window was closing a little bit sooner than I was expecting, and that's good because now I can blame the fact that I'm not painting on the weather when really the reason I'm not painting is because I refuse to paint until I have this bottom perfectly prepared. It'll only take a day or two and I think it'll be totally worth it in the end. Hopefully. I think autumn is here, or at least just around the corner. Very reminded by today and the wind and the cold that I need to hurry and get this project done if we are gonna get out of here before it snows.
We forgot to say goodbye. There's an ocean deep and wide between you and me, but still I'll be there if you say you will. It is not
Okay,
Little mom.
Paul and Liz are launching.
You bet.
Finally, they're going in. I'm gonna miss them though, but they gave me their ladder, so at least I'll think of them fondly. Wow, your boat makes my boat look so small! My goodness!
Whole story and nothing.
No, we don't want to tell the whole story.
Here comes the car.
It needs some cosmetics. It needs a little eyeliner and a little blush, but she'll do okay.
I'm really gonna miss my friends, but I'm excited for them. I can do all of the badassery I want. Get the power tools going. Get the job done. I can't open the jar to the epoxy. There's always a way. Definitely not the tool I was looking for this project, but hey, it worked. I'm gonna wipe this down one more time, mix up the epoxies, and give it a little roll.
In our bones, like getting blood out of the zone on my own. But you came around and removed the thorn in my soul. You guided me out of the storm.
Here's the thing about how I went about the fairing of the keel. I used our silica mixed with our epoxy to fair it. And there are a plethora of different kinds of fairing compounds that we could have used, but I chose to do that mostly because we already had it, and I didn't want to go out and buy something new when I had something perfectly good that I could use. The silica, one of the pros and the cons of it, is that it is very hard. It is just, it's hard and it is hard to sand. If I were to do it again, maybe we can talk about it like in a week or two. At the moment, I'd be like, heck no, I'm gonna use something easier to sand.
Quick second to say thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this week's video. You guys know we love Skillshare. It's an easy way to learn new skills as well as brush up on some you haven't used for a while, like that one thing you learned in IT class back in high school. One of the more interesting classes I took recently by Thomas Frank was about building better habits and being more efficient with time, with the big takeaway for me being that perfect is the enemy of good. Sound familiar? But this is just one of thousands of classes to choose from, and Skillshare is only $10 a month with an annual subscription, so use our link in the description to get started. Clicking that link directly helps us. It lets Skillshare know that we're good people, and it helps you because the first 1,000 people to use it get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Check it out when you have some free time you want to make better use of, but for now, thanks Skillshare.
Oh my goodness. I don't think like my traps and back and arms have been this sore since I was like 12 and obsessively trying to learn how to French braid my hair for like 6 hours straight. So here's what we're trying to decide right now. He's actually talked to more people about it than I have. I wasn't there that day. This is where the paint line used to be. But up here is where the water line was. So a good, however big my palm is, up. And so I moved the arc up above the water line. But Brett was kind of thinking, and I guess what they had talked about was taking it just with the boot stripe all the way back, and I just misunderstood. So we're gonna think it over for a little while, and I'm gonna move on to the next project, which is sanding the fairing compound. I just got back and I got the West System 410 micro fairing filler, and this is to fair our patches on the side of the boat. Back when we were cutting the tabs on the inside of the boat, Brett accidentally cut through the boat.
I can't believe I just did what I just did.
I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but they're in the exact same place on the starboard and the port side. The reason we went with this one is because it's easier to sand, which is super important because the patch is right here and right here is gel coat. And so if I were to use the silica, it's so much harder than the gel coat that as I sanded it down, it would actually kind of sand down around in that gel coat area. Whereas this one, it's gonna be a lot easier to get just that feathered edge out onto the gel coat where it's perfectly smooth. It wasn't a big deal on the keel because cast iron's harder than the epoxy, but in this case, this is what we're using. Hopefully it works. I just haven't got it at Ace. Let's try it.
What you wanna do now? Should we head back to my place? When you give me that smile, I think my heart's turning up the pace. I don't care about what we do if I get to be with you. What you wanna do now? What's to be afraid of when we're young, stupid, and in love?
Okay, hey everybody. I'm vlogging really quick. I'm on the phone with Brett. Brett, say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody. We were just talking plans and I haven't given you guys an update in a long time, so I figured I would vlog super quick, prove to you that Brett is still fairly involved in this whole process. Our friend Dana came by and dropped off a fire extinguisher. He's really concerned about me blowing up tomorrow. And then we talked story for a little while and brainstormed different ideas for different projects. So that has been what I've been up to for the last like hour or so. His dog Vanna and Penny were running circles in the parking lot. It was kind of fun. Anyway, gonna get back to work now.
About your face, can't stop looking your way. What do you do to me? You make it hard to.
Our friend Dave just drove by and gave me a sandwich and I'm so excited because I was hungry. Brett's still here. We're talking. I flipped it so Dave could see himself. There we go. Tarping is coming along nicely. Almost halfway done. Yeah, you guys, I was driving down the road to go shopping and I just passed our mast. And I was like driving like, oh, there's a mast. Wait, that's probably our mast. Anyway, it's gonna be delivered now. Should I turn around? Brett, should I turn around? Okay, we've got our mast coming in.
Until the end. Meet me in the dark.
I'm not going to be able to paint, unfortunately. I know, you know I'm so sad. We haven't been getting any attention. I'm going to go see Brett's brother and go stay at his place for a little while. I was really wanting to get the bottom done beforehand. The weather changed, there's a tropical storm now, and then all of the smoke from the West Coast fires just got here. Got like 25 to 30 mile per hour winds this afternoon. Rule of thumb is to not use a sprayer over 10 mile per hour winds, so it's too windy. I think when I edit this video, I'll probably just compile it as one big painting the bottom video. I will just cut right here and see you guys maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks, but whenever the weather allows me to paint the bottom. I left my brother-in-law's in Minnesota to book it back here, make a weather window. But I ended up getting really sick with like an autoimmune flare-up about halfway back, and I holed myself up in a hotel for almost a week and I missed the weather window. The bottom paint we decided we wanted to use is called Sea Coat, and it needs 2 layers of epoxy barrier coat and then the Sea Coat, and it needs to be sprayed with an airless sprayer, and I need a 3-day window because I need a window to get everything prepped and then 2 days to do it. Instead, I'm just gonna roll in the barrier coat. It won't be as smooth, but that's okay because I'm just gonna use a regular hard bottom anti-fouling. I had to take all of the other tape off because it got rained on and was like coming out. But I Sharpied the curvy part, so it shouldn't be too long. I'm gonna do it really quick so that I can hopefully paint tomorrow. I'm not gonna have it be curved. I'm gonna go straight back on it because I think that'll just be better. Nobody will really see it anyway. I think the curve is pretty, and I think I spent a lot of hours getting it symmetrical. Today is a bright and sunny day, and it is painting day. But first, I have to finish taping this side of the bow. Then we'll paint. What do you think? Do you want to paint today? I got some sleepies. I'm nervous. I got a jacket for his birthday, and I'm gonna mail it to him, but I bought it secondhand. And it doesn't smell bad, it just smells like, I bought it on Poshmark. It just smells like somebody else's house. So I've been hanging it up in the boat the last couple of days, and then today I'm gonna wear it while I work to try to get it to smell. It's okay.
I know that letting you go would be crazy. Think you know I want you for myself. I don't need anybody else when I leave this place. Meet me in the dark where we can both hide. No one's gonna steal our time again. We don't have to say much, let our lips touch. I will stay with you until the end. Meet me in the
Okay, it is crazy hot. I have just put on some sunscreen, and if I can unstick my, it's never happened to you guys. I need to sand the keel, final countdown. Remember, I just rolled epoxy on it, so it's too smooth right now, so I'm gonna sand that, and I extended the water line in the back, so I'm gonna sand that, scuff it up, and then I will mix up the epoxy and we'll paint. I'm gonna hurry because I don't wanna run out of day. Now I just need to move my car, move the ladder, and start mixing. Since it's epoxy, it's two parts. You mix it together, it creates the reaction, which hardens. So these are my two parts right here. It's a 1-to-1 ratio for what we're using. And what I need to do is I need to stir them each independently, make sure they're all really well mixed before I mix them together. And when I mix them together in the big pot, I'm going to use a drill mixer.
Light me up, don't you stop, 'cause tonight it's on the line. Show me how you get on down. Close my eyes, take me for a ride. Got to be you.
I'm just prepping to do coat number 2. I was actually kind of worried that I had let it set up too long. So I ended up calling the Sea Coat guy, the company, and he's just super nice, and he's like, no, you're totally fine. I was worrying over nothing. I just mixed part A and part B separately. They're ready to be mixed together, and then I'll use I'm just pointing at things, you can't even see them. I'm gonna use the electric mixer, and then we'll let it sit for the induction time, and we'll get rolling. Coat number 2. Originally, I had bought a different barrier coat to do as our center coat, so 3 coats. I was going to do the sea epoxy and then whatever I bought at West Marine, and then the sea epoxy again. That way it was a slightly different color so I could see how the coats were, but it's super expensive stuff, so I decided to just go coat 2 same color, and if I have a difficult time figuring out where I painted and what's new, then I'll go ahead and use the new stuff as the 3rd stroke. That way everywhere at least gets 2 coats. there you have it. It's painted. I do think it's gonna look really cool in the water. Also, it's not actually done. It definitely needs another coat. Like, I definitely need to put another coat on it. The weather sucks now. So in about a week, I might be able to do that. I mean, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's done. But yeah, one more coat to do. So I should stop saying it's done, because otherwise that last coat's gonna be a mental challenge, but pretty close. Then it snowed. It's snowing. And then was super cold, and before I could come to terms with the fact that it was winter now and I had missed my opportunity to paint this last coat, the sun came out. And we've got a few days, just a couple of days of sunny, 75-degree weather, and it is the last good weather of the season. So I am about to get out there again and paint the bottom and get it done. Got to paint today so that we can move stands and paint the patches before the weather gets cold again.
Oh look, winter's here, and we finished just in time before the fog rolled in. I am so glad that we got a couple of days of good weather and I was able to get it all done. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. Make sure you subscribe and join us again next week, because we are going to be jumping back inside the boat to finally finish the very last bit of fiberglass work.
Ugh. Oh, hi. Alright, no. I know.